Good morning from Disturbia on the 3rd of August, Monday. Going on 8:45 real time. (23 degrees, going to get up to well over 30. They're saying 35, so it'll probably be something like 38. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this Lindsay Clancy case. I think it ties in with the paradigm change that they're looking for in the world. I've always thought that in the last days, when they say evil is good and good is evil, that the forces that should not be will bring pagan heathenism right out into the public square. They started in the 1970s with abortion. And of course nobody, well, I shouldn't say nobody, but the consensus is that abortion is okay. It's a mother's body. She can kill her child, her own offspring, just like Eve did, without any sort of consequences. Here in Germany, they're even talking about writing into law that a woman who aborts her offspring, is completely exonerated. Which, of course, runs contrary to what God says about the law. He says, "Thou shalt not kill." And look at what Eve did. She sacrificed her baby. She ate it. She gave part of it to Adam. He ate. And it just seems that this is becoming a paradigm that whatever the woman does with the child, with their offspring, it's always going to be the man's fault. Her husband gets her pregnant or some other man. And it's just simply not her fault. And now we have this case, Lindsay Clancy, which I did not want to watch, that I decided to do so the first day of testimony, and her ex-husband took the stand. What happened was she, in my opinion, premeditatedly constructed a scenario where she said that she was having intrusive thoughts and horrible thoughts, going to the doctor, taking this medicine, that medicine, but not really wholeheartedly, checking herself in and out of the hospital while her husband was working full-time for Microsoft at home in the basement. He was very much part of taking care of the children. He wanted a family. He wanted the kids. He loved his wife, ostensibly. We don't know. The point is, he is not on trial, but she is on trial for murdering the children. She strangled them one after the other. She took them down in the basement, locked the door. Probably strangled first the 5-year-old because she was the biggest, the most able-bodied. And she strangled those kids to the point where blood was coming out of their eyes. So she did one child after another. Who knows how long it took her. Before that, she sent her husband off to get dinner. She said, "Oh, I'm not going to cook. Go ahead and go to this." It's called the 3 V's. VVV, VAV, 666, by the way. It's over there in Massachusetts, south of Boston. And anyhow, now, if you read the comments, you're just reading the poor woman, their marriage was on the rocks, he's already remarried, he was horrible for leaving her with the kids, he was at fault. Yes, but at what point do you see the woman accountable for what she actually did herself? Well, no, she was insane. This is the explanation. The insanity, she was completely passive, the insanity took over. People are so quick to exonerate a woman who kills her children, and this is scary. You know why? Because it's pagan. Totally. And we had a case in the States, the woman's name was Andrea Yates, and she said, "Satan told me to do it." And guess what? That is exactly what Satan told Eve to do. Andrea Yates was convicted, but her conviction was overturned. She was insane. You see, when they don't have an answer, when they want to exonerate somebody for doing something heinous that they can't understand, then it must have been insanity and the person is not guilty. They just completely detach the will of the person involved in the strangling, for example, from this insanity. To me, that's insane. But anyway, it's very scary because it's just all part and parcel of the green agenda to eradicate male and female, to eradicate children. Why have children if you're going to kill them? Who needs children anyway? Who needs to even get married? You know, this is what I believe they're after. And this is the subtle point that I think a lot of people may be missing, and that's why I'm bringing it up. It is the exoneration of Eve for having killed the fruit and eaten the fruit of her tree. And it's coming to the World Theater near us. This is going to be happening in the public square. Just look at Germany. Look at Assyria, which is Germany. The altar of Satan in Berlin. How many Jews are leaving counterfeit Israel? Leaving counterfeit Israel for Berlin. Why? Because the altar of Satan is there. Jesus said, your God is the devil. And this altar that is mentioned, and the throne of Satan, which is mentioned in Revelation 2:13, is standing in Berlin now this day. And it's going to be open next year, June 4th. 2027. Keep your eyes on Berlin, folks. That's where it's at. That is where Satan is going to rise and manifest.